Welcome to another episode of The Velvet Hammer.
And here we go.
All right. Okay. I want to learn about misogyny.
Why?
Because I observe misogyny. I've been guilty of misogyny. And I've been open enough to let people tell me, like, Mo, you can't, that's misogynistic. There's gender dynamics at play. And so I really want to learn a woman's perspective about misogyny in the context of other women. I observe women interact with one another, and I don't think I truly appreciate how misogyny exists within the relationship of multiple women involved. And I don't think I can speak to it, so I want to talk to a woman about it. So first, how do you define misogyny?
How do you define misogyny?
Misogyny is it's just bias, like a male bias towards female persons, like in any way, seeing them as not the same or diminishing them or not viewing each other as equals, trying to exercise power over a woman. Those are the types of things that I understand misogyny to be.
Do you have a better definition?
I got an AI overview if you want to hear that. Misogyny is a deep-rooted prejudice, hatred, and hostility specifically directed at women and girls, characterized by the desire to control, demean, and subordinate them to maintain male dominance in patriarchal systems. It manifests in various harmful behaviors and attitudes ranging from verbal harassment and threats of violence to more systemic issues such as gender-based violence, discrimination, and dismissal of women's concerns. It has roots in ancient Greek words and persists in culture today, often embedded in social norms, religious interpretations, and contemporary forms of online hate.
And that's, I view, so you'll often hear me talk about the patriarchy and the patriarchal society, and and that is the more benign form that we live under. It's just, that's the systemic part of it.
Yeah.
To me, misogyny is the more negative manifestation of it. It's more active. It's more.
It's intent. It's with intent.
It's worse.
It's worse.
Okay. It's. There's an element of, like the Andrew Tate situation. There's an element of forced male domination involved.
Okay. And have you experienced that, you would say, your entire life?
Have I experienced what?
Forced domination, like male domination, even structural, like has it been prevalent in your life since you remember
So what I am more familiar with is just the paternalistic part of society, which I've always fought against 1,000%. The misogynistic part enters periodically.
Okay.
It comes in, it comes out. It comes in, it comes out. This person or
Well, you've pointed out some situations like that in past episodes, for sure.
Yeah.
Like lawyers
who said nasty things to you.
John
Henry
Brown, misogynist.
Yeah.
Okay,
totally.
John Henry Brown, misogynist.
Well, and there was that other guy who made a comment about your divorce.
Peter Dinello.
Yeah. I'm sure there's tons. I'm just mentioning the ones that I remember from our podcast.
Yes, and it's also there's also those that do it in a less confrontational manner, but with the same type of insultive type of context, which is like, "Hey, honey," or
sweetie,
and so. With women, women in our world grew up within a patriarchal society. We still have it. It's still around us.
Every religious doctrine is a patriarchal system, and pretty much our educational system. All of our systems are based on a patriarchal background.
Yeah, you have times in society when the women ruled because their husbands died, or it was a little different, like in China there was some
but those are usually the exceptions to those rules,
and this is true. The only other time that you really see it is in like the movies.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman. One could only wish. So it is so deeply inbred. And some people have an awareness about it, and other people have an awareness but choose not to have that awareness, and other people just have no awareness. There's so many different degrees of people's understanding of it.
So more recently, what I learned was that some of my behavior qualities, not related to misogyny, but just general behavior qualities, are a consequence of how I've experienced relationships my entire life. And, specifically like overly trusting people. And that's because of my experiences. That logic, if you're like growing up in a paternalistic system, patriarchal system, patriarchal system over long periods of time, and you're just absorbing it, even if you're fighting against it, even if you're trying to stand above it, how does that impact a woman?
So for me, I have a little bit of a different life experience because my household was not patriarchal.
Okay.
My mother was a dominant presence.
Okay.
And my mother was a female chauvinist pig. She preached that females were better than men. I was raised with that. My dad, of course, intellectually on par with my mother, but not as vehement and not as loud of a focus in my life.
Yeah.
He's the, calmer, more gentle parent who often had to go hide downstairs when my mother was throwing shoes at him and stuff. So my mom, a complete dominant force of all of us growing up. So we weren't raised to believe that women were inferior, which many women are. So that's one of the issues that people have when they deal with me, which they, because I present in a way that confuses many people.
Yeah.
I look like a female. I have a high voice.
Yeah.
I have a softer presentation.
Yeah.
And I'm more emotionally focused. However, I don't view you as superior to me as a man because I wasn't raised that way. I mean, that wasn't my life experience. And it chafes me when I'm in systems that are patriarchal because I don't understand, I don't accept it. I don't like it. It doesn't feel good to me. I feel stifled by it. I don't like anything about it. And I have spent my career being in those systems until I got to the point when I was, around late 50s, early 60s, where I said, I'm done. I don't want to be in those clubs anymore. I don't want to be in those organizations anymore. I don't want to do that anymore.
Now I want to focus on how women treat each other.
Sure.
Talk to me about how women treat each other within this system that is...
So the issues with women is that most women grew up in a patriarchal society without a parent like mine.
Okay, so you're okay. So that, I mean...
But there are some. I mean, there's a minority of people like me that did not grow up in a more traditional type of,
Yeah, and I'd say that that's happening even more now.
It is now.
In the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people that I know who have been raising kids have more of that approach.
Correct. But still, look at our organizations. I mean, they're still, we aren't at that tipping point yet, but you're right. So what I experience, especially from women my age or that are not 20 years or under, especially other professional women, is no different than what I get back from the men. And sometimes it's even more it's more hurtful when it comes from another woman.
Why is it more hurtful when it comes from another woman?
Because you want to believe that, because there's still very few women at the top of the plaintiff bar profession in terms of they lead an office that's bigger than one or two people. They lead a big office. They lead a very successful law firm. they're
Or they lead a city attorney's office and they're
Yeah.
the first woman to hold that position.
there you go, or they, great trial lawyers, whatever. They're still that's not a well integrated still profession is a plaintiff bar. So you want those fewer women to be connected, to have a sisterhood, to have a support each other.
Yeah.
Because the guys sure do. The guys have all their little clubs and they support each other so well.
Yeah.
So you would think like, well, women are going to support women. No.
Do you think that women internalize misogyny?
I don't know about misogyny, but they certainly internalize the paternalistic part. And here's some examples. I get most of my referrals from men.
So women don't refer you as much cases
The
as men do?
women want to refer a lot of their cases to men
Why do you think that?
Why is that?
because they see them as being the better trial lawyers. Bigger, more aggressive, more male. And if you were to say that to them, I think they would think, well, that sucks. No, we don't.
They'd say I was a misogynist.
But I've never had problems
Interesting.
getting referrals from male attorneys.
I'm thinking about.
There's some. Simona Farice, a plaintiff lawyer down in California. But she's like me. She's been an advocate for women her entire career. She is not cowed or bowed. She will not be cowed nor bow to anybody, let alone just a boys' club. So there are women like that, and there's women's networks that refer to other women.
Yeah.
That's become more prevalent now with this. But for someone like me, that's as old as I am, that's practiced for 40 years, my experience, especially when I needed referrals when I was, 20 years ago, I needed more referrals when I started the office 21 years ago, all guys.
And then, is it that part of what I'm hearing you say is that you're experiencing this now? You're still experiencing this. You're at the top of your game right now. You're successful. You've done well, and still you experience women not treating you well.
Well, we're talking behind your back,
Yeah.
making generalizations.
What does that feel like, having accomplished what you've accomplished professionally and lifting the gender up? Because your accomplishments lift the gender up. How do you feel that you're still being demonized?
I don't care if it's people I don't really know,
Yeah.
because that just happens. People are going to talk about you if you're an accomplished person. It gives them something to do.
Yeah.
What it bothers me is when there are people I do know and they're doing it behind my back.
Yeah.
Then it bothers me in a way that I have to guard against being ruthless back.
Yeah.
I just need to let it go. I will process it. I will be upset maybe for a couple days, maybe longer. It'll irritate me, but more likely it'll just kind of be a little wound in me. Like, oh, I thought this person was my friend, but no, they're not. And the way that I'm geared, we've talked about this before, I trust everybody until I don't.
Yeah. We both suffer from that.
I don't mind it. And you have to, why else live, be in this world if you can't give people the benefit of the doubt?
Yeah.
But what I know, unfortunately, is that people are complex.
Yeah.
People are often unsatisfied with their own lives and look to try to feel better by taking other people down.
Okay.
I feel like that. And I think that women do that to other women more than you would ever believe.
I bet you that some of our listeners are women who are like you, who are stepping into their power, growing, and defying the institutions. Yeah. And they're suffering from some of this what I would call meanness and cruelness.
What's Mean Girl?
I was going to say it's
Yeah.
Mean Girls stuff.
It's Mean Girls.
And, you know,
What is it? What do you mean
might-
by Mean Girls?
And people have this idea that Mean Girls are like the most popular girls in high school,
Yeah.
and they all like have a big social clique, and they're super powerful because they're so popular, and everybody thinks that their lives are perfect. But no, Mean Girls come in all forms.
Okay. What advice do you have for young people who are being subjected to this, young women in particular?
I think I really have advice, it's not even advice. I feel like the reason I can weather it pretty well is because I ultimately always end up, maybe it's just the logical part of my mind, I end up feeling sorry for the people that are engaged in that behavior, because I look at it kind of dispassionately and I say, you have nothing better to do than to talk about me and to let me fill your thoughts at random times, because you're going to attribute something you're going to think that I would think some way, or I said something, or it triggered you in some way, or you're hoping I'm going to fail. You're not going to, you're just hoping for my demise. Because I irritate you so much. And then you're going to go tell someone else who's going to tell someone else who doesn't even know me. They don't even know me, but their lives are also kind of paltry and unfulfilled. And so they're going to be really interested because, wow, they thought that I was a really successful lawyer, but clearly I'm bad at doing this, or that. And it just spreads and becomes this pestilence. And I can't do anything about it. And so the part of me that's self-preservation Karen is like, people are going to talk about you. And you can't control that.
Yeah.
Let them talk about you. It's unfortunate for them because negative energy is a bad fuel. I don't want that fuel. I want positive energy to be my fuel.
What about the part of Karen that earlier said, get a little hurt?
Yeah.
What suggestion do you have for the person that gets a little hurt by it?
Well, be like me and compartmentalize.
Well, not everybody can compartmentalize.
I am a compartmentalizer, so I can be hurt, and I will let. But what I've learned to do is, I've learned to let myself feel it. Like
Okay,
I used
let
to
yourself
not,
feel it.
like I used to just like not let myself feel it,
Yeah.
and go into attack mode. Now I'll let myself feel it, and I go, oh yeah, that feels suck. That is sucky, and then I just put it up and put it away, and I don't think about it again. I mean, until I'm triggered by something again. Someone says something, or someone said that they heard someone say something. Yeah. And then maybe I'll pull it out again. But it doesn't affect my life.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, it's hard to say not to give people power over you, or the negative stuff. But life is beautiful and short, and I choose just not to live in it. I choose not to live in that. Let them go live in it.
I love that mindset because, I affirm that mindset of life is short and life is beautiful. And every morning I wake up, no matter how hard a day I had the day before.
Well, you've had a lot of people say bad stuff about you.
Yes, I have a lot of people say a lot of bad stuff about me. But I get up in the morning and I'm just like...
Mike, have you had people say bad stuff about you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all of us do. Like, we're human beings. Everybody says bad stuff about you. Why do people need to say such bad stuff about other people?
Well,
why do people need to gossip? It's
they
just
want to make us feel bad so they can theoretically feel good. But that, like you said, I don't think that actually works ever.
I mean, but who cares?
I think it just perpetuates.
If you don't know someone, then why do you want to know about something that someone said about them that was? I mean, and what even was it? Like, well,
that's
she
become
lost the case, so she's
that's
not a good
become
lawyer?
Today. Like social media feeds people to do that.
Yeah.
Our 24-hour news cycle feeds people to react in that way.
It's like corrupting the good out of our brains and making us focus on this negative energy. And I just feel when we see how fast our clients have to go through an adjustment of a catastrophic injury or losing someone at a blink of an eye, I don't want to be worrying about someone else and whether they, I don't even know what the bad stuff is, but, who cares? They're not in my orbit.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about it. I wish it wasn't like that. It's, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing that we are often held down by stuff like that as a race.
Well, it's embarrassing to
race.
me as a male that, I mean, like I won't say that I've never been misogynist, but I feel it's more like stuff that I've done is more like mansplaining, things like that.
I mean, most still does that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing.
By the
Like,
way,
I actively try to not do that, but it's still, you slip into it sometimes. But like that description of misogyny, I don't hate women. I don't think that women are any better or worse than anything that I do.
That's a good, that's a good definition.
But that
because
definition,
a lot of people,
I said I've been misogynistic, but like not like that.
No.
What I've done is I mansplain.
and
I
yes,
think
that's
like
my
I
point.
know
Like,
better.
But I think the word misogyny has been neutered by it's becoming so commonly used. But it is bad. It's like I said, it's an Andrew Tate. Like that is a
I'm not
misogynist.
like that. But my concern is that I see women being torn down, like women of prominence, women who have lifted women up, torn down by their own.
Yeah.
And to me,
It's sport.
that is like, to me, that's unfortunate, because you're already fighting an uphill battle.
Yeah.
And then now you got to fight your own. Like it's to me just it's counterintuitive. Women who have daughters or mentoring younger women.
When I was a younger lawyer, not because I was a younger person, but just because society was 30 years ago, 40, I started trying cases right out of law school. I realized quickly that I needed to get as many women off the jury as possible and have as many men on it, because the women often would not like me.
Yeah.
And then I mutated, and I was like, okay, I can figure out, and I do feel like I don't have a problem with women now on the jury, but I went through this whole thing of studying it. Like, what is this thing that I'm sensing? What is going on with the women? And it was a Hillary Clinton thing. They wanted to see more Michelle Obama, not so much Hillary Clinton. So.
Well, and it's, I hate to pull it in, but somebody might say that they consider you the B word in those situations.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like, I've had them get mad at me for killing a witness in cross-examination.
For doing your job.
Oh, yeah. For doing it like a man would.
For doing it the way that it should be done, correct?
I cannot do what a man does.
Of course not.
I mean, I used to teach trial advocacy first at the UW for 7 years, but I taught a female trial advocacy class for 6 years just for women. And I had to tell them, like, yeah, you can't do it like the guys do it.
No.
There's so much prejudice between not just the men, but the women, actually the women more than the men. Yeah. And so you have to navigate it, which...
That's part of the game.
It's part of the game.
Part of the game.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for answering that.
Well, in a perfect society,
helpful.
right?
Yeah.
In a perfect society, people wouldn't do stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we don't live in a perfect society, and it has gotten harsher.
Yeah.
And people do feel more entitled to be bad. It's a Trump effect. It's come out of the woodwork. Before people would say, "Well, this is a racist community," and everyone would say, "No, it's not. We don't say anything." People would say that about Seattle, like. Well, Seattle, there's some prejudice in Seattle, and other people would say, no, there's no prejudice, but there is.
Yeah,
but it was all below the surface.
Yeah.
Now it's just like not below the surface. I personally liked it when it was below the surface because it's so ugly, such an ugly element, and I think that when you are emboldened to speak it out, it emboldens you to behave. I believe that activity follows words, and that by emboldening people to actively act out prejudice, that then leads to escalation, more. I mean,
but don't you think that some of that stuff has to happen for change to happen? If you just stick with what you were talking about as the previous thing, nothing changes and everybody just keeps it hidden.
I'd rather keep it hidden. I mean, right now, they're talking about making, I saw in the news somewhere about a community that's whites only.
Oh, yeah, they're trying to do that. But they've been trying to do that forever. I mean, that's not a 2025 thing. That's something that's been going on since the beginnings of the white supremacist party.
I think that there is, after our last episode against civility, I do appreciate that it's like what goes beyond inside your mind. Do you share all that?
No.
Especially a dude. I know what goes on in dudes' minds. And a lot of it does not need to be spoken, right? Look at you guys all looking like that. Because, right? But now, if that's all out there, how is that making things better? It's not.
Yeah, but it has to come out there a little bit for stuff to change, is my point.
Well, I don't think it needs to come out there a little bit.
Yeah, we disagree on that one.
Most
have taken the fifth on that one.
I'm taking the fifth. Look. I'm Mo Neanderthal. I'm a Neanderthal.
It's an interesting.
It's already been established that I'm a Neanderthal. So I don't need to.
It is an interesting concept, though. But for the purpose of,
I hear what you're saying, Karen. I understand
exactly
what you're saying.
And I don't know the answer.
I understand what you're saying, but I personally think that I think that what's happening right now is a effect of years and years and years of political discourse that we're playing the game that you were talking about. And it has to come to a more passionate type of discourse. And some people have to say what they're actually thinking for other people to realize that people like me saying that those people are actually thinking that isn't true.
And I agree with that. For example, how do I know people talk about me? Well, I discover it.
Some of them tell you.
Someone tells me, I see something, I hear something, I learn something, and then like, oh, that person was not my friend, But if I hadn't found that out, I'd be thinking that person was my friend.
And not everybody is like that.
No.
Right? I mean, these are
no.
What I wouldn't call it the exceptions to the rules, but they're not. I think most people are good. I think most people don't want what's going on right now to happen. But I also think that
I don't want to say that they're bad people. I mean, I don't think that people are inherently bad. I still believe people are good, but people have behaviors that are fueled by positive energy or negative energy, and this is very negative. Gossip is a negative, destructive energy.
It is. It is.
But I think that, at least with what's going on in society today, I think that it's a combination of some people actively, from the position that you were just talking about coming from, wanting things to not be as nasty, not see the darkness. But I think that there's a lot of people who, because of that, react to it by just going, okay, I want to be blissfully ignorant and not participate in the process at all, which is more damaging.
Agreed.
And that's what I think saying that you want it to be the status quo perpetuates the ability for people to not
amend my answer.
Make any change.
Mike, you have won this discussion. Well said. I agree.
Thank you.
So the turds can come out.
And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be misogynistic and force my ideas on you.
Look at that, Mike. Look at the qualification at the end. I love it.
Very good.
That was great, Mike.
I totally agree with you, Mike.
I agree with
it's
Mike.
True.
I agree
it's
with
more
Mike.
comfortable not to know.
Yes.
But it's more important to know.
And right now, trust me, I'm with you. It's so nasty right now.
Oh, God.
Like anytime I go and look at the news or anything, it's all negative. Yeah. There's very little positive. Even when people are trying to make things positive, it turns out negative.
Yeah.
And now everyone's weaponizing that. Just like what was done with our podcast. Everybody's taking everything that everybody says, documenting it, transcribing it, and then trying to use it back against you. Yeah. And that's what's happening all across the political spectrum right now. Yeah. No one is trying to work from a position of civility. They are all attacking each other all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that there's got to be a little bit of that we got to go through nasty times before we're going to be better again.
Well, I can't think of anything better to say than that.
Yeah. Well, thanks for answering the question.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that's all for today.
Until next time.